Hi, I'm Nick, and today is just a nice day. I thought I would take a stroll down to a supplier to get some visual management tools. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'd like to cover today is changeover or quick changeover. Now, this comes from if we use machines to make products. What we can do if that machine is able to run different products, we have to change over from one to another, unless it's some magical machine from science fiction whereby you just ask it what you want and it produces it on demand. Unfortunately, real world doesn't happen like that. So changeovers change from one product type to another because that machine probably has to have different parts and components set up to it. And the changeover time is the time between the last good products of the first run and the first good products of the second run. Fairly straightforward, so it's the time in between the two, and that's probably generally downtime as well. So obviously we want to reduce downtime of our machine so we can keep producing, because we want to obviously make a bit of money if we're in business. Now, there is some techniques we can do to achieve quick changeover, and a lot of that came from back in the day. Toyota, they had I think it was a 5-ton press, and they used that to obviously press out the different body panels and stuff for the cars they were making. And it took them about 8 hours to change from one to another. What they needed, because of the run of the cars, the volume of cars they were producing, was to get that changeover done in less than 10 minutes. So effectively they wanted single digit minutes change of dies, effectively. So there was an engineer called Shigeo Shingo was tasked with doing that to get it from 8 hours to less than 10 minutes. So a fairly big task for him to do. Now what he did was he went away with a team for say 6 months and came back to a big presentation held in Toyota. The guy who came up with the Toyota production system was called Tate and he got him to present and say, what have you achieved? Long story short, he says, we've got from 8 hours to 16 minutes. What happened next caused a bit of a shock, because Tate turned his back on him and walked away. Culturally, in Japan at that time, that was a way of showing extreme disappointment, because they needed it to be less than 10 minutes. 16 still wasn't good enough. So Shingo had to go away again for, I think it was another 3 months with his team of people. And he came back after that time and he got it down to something like 8 minutes 50 seconds. So quite incredible to do, to go from 8 hour changeover to 8 minutes and 50 seconds. So we got to his single minute exchange of dies. Remember, it's single digit minutes. Brilliant, really. I hope you agree with that one. Now, you may have machines, you may have work areas that does one thing and then has to change to do another thing. So it doesn't just apply to machines, it can apply to work areas, especially in the field of maintenance. You'll be maintaining one thing and then get a totally different thing to come in that you have to carry out maintenance on. So you have to change that area over to enable you to carry out that maintenance. So it kind of fits anyway. Now, the technique that we use to get our changeover time down is to basically know when that change is going to happen and film it. Film that production run and see what happens. Now we've got these wonderful smartphones like I'm using here. It's a mobile movie making system. Many people will have them in your business, so you can actually film the thing from several angles if you wish. What you then do, you need to allocate some time so that you've got the team who are doing the work, doing the changeover, to actually look at it with you. Then when you see anybody moving away from that machine, you need to ask them why. What were they doing? And then the next thing you need to do is to see where they're spending the bulk of that time doing the changeover. Because if you think about it, what pretty much needs to happen You'll need certain stuff to carry out the changeover. Now, certain things can be done when the machine is running, such as pre-kitting or getting stuff where it needs to be. That can be done when the machine's running. Some stuff has to be done at the moment when the machine is stopped. Has to be done. So the first thing you can do, the easy wins, are to get all the stuff done. Get all the stuff done that can be done whilst the machine is running. So that's getting all your components in place, getting all the pre-kittings done on all that side of thing, instructions, whatever they are, get them in where they need to be. Then the next thing to do might involve some engineering to look at it, because what will help with the changing over is jigs and fittings. So quick release fasteners, that sort of stuff, that can help physically take stuff on and off. And then the next challenge after that is it possible to carry out changeover items whilst that machine is running? Now that's probably going to take some a bit of engineering, a bit of thinking, but also what you can do is involve your team as well. Involve the people who do the work. They might have some ideas. You've got some incredibly creative people working for you and you probably don't even know it. So but that's a really good thing to do. And then the next thing you need to do is to get people to practice those changeovers. Now, quite often I've seen where people avoid doing changeovers because it takes a lot of time, so they think things aren't productive. Because they avoid it, the changeovers themselves become difficult to do. So any opportunity you have is to train and practice to do those changeovers. And that by itself will bring your changeover time down. Now, if you just do the first part, like I said, get all the stuff that can be done whilst the machine's running done in time, like all the pre-kit and all that sort of thing. If you can get that done, you will get a percentage increase in productivity. Now, depending on what you're making, you'll know what that percentage increase will make to the bottom line, and then you reinvest that into doing the other stuff that you can do to help make that changeover get even smoother and even quicker. So that's my take on that. I've had some success with that quite well in the past. I'll be interested to hear what your experiences are, so if you'd like to, feel free to share in the comments. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.